podcast. Now these Rubber Boots podcasts. We wanna thank you for listening. We're sure you never thought we'd last. Oh no. We're gonna talk nothing, very little sports with your host Jimmy, Young James. And now you know for sure that it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a blast, oh yes, 'cause this is the podcast.
Super Bowl edition of the podcast, live from Atlanta. I have been working my ass off down here all week, doing hits for SportsCenter nonstop around the clock, and I decided I love these guys so much, I couldn't live without them. So I flew them all down.
So happy to be here.
I sent my private jet that George Cope lent for me. I sent it back, and I picked up Puffy and Stoff and Lester and Stoff's entire studio.
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play.
And I flew it down to Atlanta, where so we're live right now from Buckhead. We're live from the Buckhead Bar Strip.
Listen, I just want to say I'm so happy to be here in Atlanta, home of the Jerry Curl.
Is that the origin of the Jerry?
Home of the Jerry Curl, Atlanta, Georgia.
I've always told you about my Jamaican buddies in high school. Dave, Sean, Kennedy. They tried to get me to do the Jerry Curls.
Oh my God! I would pay like lots of money to see you with the Jerry Curl.
Yeah, I may do that. Maybe we'll do that.
We're in the villa.
At the villa, I'll bring down some Jerry Curl. What do you do? How do you do it?
You get
it's like a Jerry Curl product, right? It's a sticky product.
You got to get activator. You don't need the activator.
Well, my hair is too fine, probably too, right?
Maybe.
Maybe I switch hair. I switch
Puffy. Actually,
I could switch hair pieces. I get rid of this hair piece and get a curlier hair piece.
I think I just saw some plugs.
So Super Bowl edition of the pod. I wanted to do this right off the top because he's a busy kid.
Yes.
We want to use our correspondents. We had Laura Copa input last week. Our student correspondent, our college correspondent, I think we called him, is Thomas Sikansky from out in Alberta.
If I remember my school days, not a lot of work gets done in January.
No.
Basically,
buddy, from your school days, not a lot of work got done between September and May.
That's true. That is true.
You didn't do so well with
I just hopped on, and I just want to say I am very confused right now. The hair pieces and the Jerry curls.
Well, no, I'm talking about a lot of people have been asking me to get Jerry curls, and that's what Lester brought it up again. So I'm probably going to have them on the Super Bowl Sunday.
Probably not friends of yours, I assume.
You're going to have Jesse Palmer. You're going to have Jabari Greer. And you're going to have me and Jerry curls.
Yeah, they're going to love you.
Ratings will spike.
It's going to be amazing. Hey, Thomas, we wanted to have you on after we haven't heard from you since we hired you as our college correspondent. How are things out at the University of Technical Institute of North Calgary? Is that where he goes to? What is it called?
Alberta.
Oh,
University of Alberta.
Oh, yeah, University of Alberta.
University of Calgary.
Calgary.
We're not so good with the memory here on the pod. You may have noticed by now. How are things? Things are okay?
Things are great. Puffy is pretty accurate. Not a whole lot of work getting done here in January, but that's okay.
You had a wacky New Year's Eve or something you wanted to share with us. Go ahead.
Yes, I did. So this involves a friend of mine who I changed his name for the story to keep identities secret, I guess.
All right.
So at around 3:30 a.m., I guess this is technically New Year's Day now, so we just partied it up on New Year's Eve.
Give me paint the scenario for us. We have to live vicariously, okay? So is it a house party? Are you at a bar? Are the ladies around? What kind of scene is it?
It's it was just a chill kind of hangout. There was probably about 10 to 20 of us there that night.
Boring. Cut them off, stuff.
There's no... None of that?
All right, go on.
But it's definitely dying down now. It's about 3:30 in the morning. Me and my friend, let's just call him Jimmy for lack of a better term.
Good name.
Are winding things down at my friend Mike's house. Who lives about a block away from mine.
Okay.
We're making the short walk home, me and my friend Jimmy. He says, "Man, I really wish I could hook up with this girl, but she lives all the way downtown." I tell him he can just download Uber. It's so late, it's probably not too expensive now.
Yeah.
In fact, I grabbed the phone out of his hands and put the address in his phone before he had a chance to say no.
All right.
As I'm doing this, I see the text messages his lady friend is sending, and let's just say this was definitely a sure thing.
Okay.
All right.
While we are waiting for the Uber to arrive, my friend Jimmy asked me if he can borrow, he's taking all the precautions. He wants to have some protection. So I say, no problem. Here you go.
You give him a gun, right? That's dangerous.
Yeah. A Colt 45. and a knife and a big
This
knife.
Jimmy sounds like some sailor.
All right. Okay. So he's got some help.
Yeah, 4 a.m. arrives, and off he goes. I get a little bit of sleep. 4:30 a.m., I'm awoken by my phone ringing. My buddy Jimmy says, "Hey, man, is it cool if I come back to my place?" I'm very dazed and confused at this point. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. Is everything all right?" He says, "Yeah, dude, I just don't think Mark likes me that much." I'm thinking, who the hell is this Mark guy? Turns out it was this girl's dad.
Oh.
So he went over, and the dad. Sorry, what happened then?
I actually never got the full details, but from my filling in the pieces, he went over to visit his friend, I guess, and I guess the dad was still awake and saw him come in and saw him pull up at 4:30 in the morning, something along those lines.
So did Dad know he had what he had in his pocket? You know,
if you're showing up at somebody's house at 4:30 in the morning, I think Dad knows what's going down.
Yeah, that would have been rough. So was there a fight? Was there a physical altercation?
Not that I know of, but he asked me if I could come back to my house. This is my friend, not the dad. He asked, "Do you have a couch still?" I said, "Yeah, I have a small one." He was like, "How small?" I said, "It's not. I mean, it's not
so
going to be very comfortable."
he's going to try and bring the girl back. You're talking about.
That's
He's not coming back alone.
James.
Brought her back. See, that should have been the original move.
Yeah, you don't want to risk going to the place.
Yeah.
True enough.
All right, so things went okay then?
So he brings her back, right? He told me he wasn't going to do anything, but I told him, like, that's not an issue. I mean, not a whole lot of privacy, but go ahead, do whatever you feel like. And yeah, a couple days. So he told me that he did nothing, but then a couple days later, I found the condom wrapper on the floor.
Hey, it could have been worse. You could have found the used condom.
My question to you guys: A-hole or A-okay?
Wow.
For
you or him?
For him.
No,
I think he's fine.
I think he's okay.
He asked you.
I appreciate the two, how hungry they were for each other. He went all the way there, got berated by her dad, and she just like, "Okay, see you later, Dad. I'm going to his place."
I know. Puffy and I would have quit. We would have quit hours before that.
Let me tell you something right now. I admire the guy because he went all out to get himself a piece of earlobe.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and I admire her. She was, for her to truck out of there with Dad watching.
With Dad, yeah. How did she pull that one off? Dad, we're just going to go for Dairy Queen.
Yeah. I'm jumping into this Uber at 4:30 a.m. with a strange guy.
I'll be back at 10 with my hair messed.
Wow.
I think he's okay. I think he's A-okay.
I don't think anyone did anything wrong. Maybe the dad.
I said A-okay as well.
Yeah, as long as it was he was safe.
Yeah,
he was
safe, consensual,
and respected, consensual, respect from both ends. Then that's fine. And as long as they're going to get married, because I don't believe in any sort of other extramarital.
I just would love to see the
premarital
conversation between the dad and the daughter the next day.
Yeah. Could you try to get an update from your buddy about what happened with the girl and what was said between the dad and the girl, and see if you can get back to us on that?
Absolutely, guys.
All right, Sikansky. Appreciate the update. Bring us more stories. We'll continue to live vicariously through you.
Coast through the next few months.
Good. We've got here in Calgary. We've got the Crowchild Classic coming up. That's definitely a lot of potential for some good stories. That's the hockey game between UFC and MRU.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So that's something we're looking forward to, and I'll keep you guys updated.
All right. Awesome. Enjoy the Super Bowl. You got a pick for us in the Super Bowl, Sikansky? It's New England and LA, if you don't know.
If I'm a gambling man, I'm slamming the Patriots because I don't think Brady loses 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Boom.
Ooh, very good.
Excellent choice. That's Thomas Sikansky, our college correspondent. Thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas.
Informative as always. Interesting story.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wasn't sure where he was going there at one point.
The father.
Well, as a father of 2 teenage girls,
imagine
some dude shows up at my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to beat him over the head.
Yeah, I might invite him in to then beat him up.
Yeah, there's no chance, and there's no chance she's leaving after that.
No.
Let's get the dad on next week.
Yeah. I want to make sure he's okay.
You think he'd like to come on?
I'd be scarred.
I have a lot of Super Bowl work to do here at Super Bowl. Brady's just walking by with Gronk right now. Hey, guys.
We're still here.
We got our one-on-one later.
We're still here.
All right.
Did you see the video of them
drunk.
after
Yeah.
the AFC title game? We ain't going
So
nowhere.
cocky, but it was so good.
amazing.
It was
I'm
so
not a
amazing.
fan of the Patriots, but I did appreciate that.
We only have a few minutes. Let's debut our new theme song for our new topic, something about TV. I can never remember
What
what it's
You
called.
Watchin'?
What You Watchin'? This is our new segment. It's called What You Watchin'.
Yeah.
What you watching? Just between you and me, what you streaming on your TV? Let me see. What you watching? Action, drama, comedy. What you streaming on your TV?
Love it.
Like that's the streaming on TV.
Yeah.
Well, that's the new
That's the
phrase.
new
that you
thing.
don't-
Yeah,
you don't-
no one watches. It's all streaming.
You know, I think about 50% of conversations I have with friends now are about what you're watching on TV, right?
Yeah.
You end up at just the go-to conversation. Are you
Yes.
watching this? Are you watching True Detective? Are you
There's a lot of
watching
good-
this?
There's a lot of good programs.
You just got through the season one of
Season
Game
one
of
of Game of Thrones.
You saw the
Yeah,
beheading. Is that a spoiler?
Well, I don't
We won't
think-
say
I
who.
think people are. Stop is like. I mean, we are definitely
said
at
the
the
beheading.
statue of
Look, it's
in
Well, they
Game
all
of-
have heads.
No,
You know
in Game of
somebody's
Thrones,
going to get
somebody's gonna-
beheaded.
I think in the first 5 minutes of Game of Thrones, there's 9 people get their heads chopped
Yeah,
off. I'm
exactly.
like,
Everybody
what's going on?
dies in Game of Thrones, all right, people?
That's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm diving deep in, but I never remember any of the names of the characters.
Yeah, it took me about 6 seasons to figure out who was from what kingdom and what land or whatever. It's
Kinda
gonna.
got
You have
that.
to really focus on that shit.
I have not. I know that show's supposed to be really good, but I just, the whole medieval thing for me, I've never really been that
Buddy,
interested.
I was for years. I
same.
held off on Game of Thrones. I don't care about dragons and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I want, I'm more into not reality TV, but stuff that's based on stuff that's actually happening today. It's worth your time.
Yeah.
I got into it. It's really well done.
Can I mention something else? One other show, by the way. I know
Yeah.
we're going to get into nothing, but Kelsey Grammer, Boss.
Oh, I never heard.
It's very.
I thought you were going to go Fraser. You should check it out. I just discovered it on Netflix.
Netflix. Very
Fraser.
good.
There's a
Fraser.
dog.
There's a
the
dog
dog's
named
hilarious.
Yeah.
The little Jack Russell Terrier. Fraser.
No.
After
no,
Fraser,
no.
I'm going to try.
What's it called again?
It's called Boss. He plays the
Plays
mayor
Boss?
of Chicago.
Okay.
And he is
Quality?
It's his quality show.
Is
Yeah.
it like a
It is
drama
now-
or is it a comedy?
Pardon me?
Drama.
for sure.
Oh, really?
100%. Oh yeah, he's wow.
Okay, we teased last week
Yes.
a show called The Push on Netflix,
Very good.
and so I want to say right now, spoiler alert: we gave you homework to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell people to turn off the podcast, but we're going to talk about details about The Push. So if you don't
fast
want to hear
forward.
about it, you could hit that little 30-second fast forward button. So The Push is this show where. Well, anybody who's listening has probably seen it now, right? Because everybody else turned it off. But if you don't care, if you're not going to watch it, you can keep listening to us. So it's a reality show where this elaborate plan is done, where everybody's actors on the show, and they put a guy in a situation where by the end of it, he has to decide whether he wants to murder someone.
Yes.
Which sounds crazy.
In
But
an evening. That's
how can we
basically-
do it? It's all over one evening. Basically, he's a business guy. He's trying to get in with these other business guys. They're having a big function.
Yeah.
And they pull him in with some guy having a heart attack and dying.
And he helps move the body.
Helps move the body. That's the first in. And then he gets deeper and deeper
Deeper
and
and
deeper.
deeper.
And then it
until
ends.
it makes sense.
It makes
for
some
him,
sort of sense that he has to push this guy off the edge, which sounds crazy, but it makes some sort of sense.
Yeah,
he's kind of doing it for the greater good.
Yeah.
And all these people are urging him
protect
to
him.
do it.
Yeah,
Yes,
to
to protect
protect-
himself and
yeah.
to protect others. So the question would be, would you do it? This guy, the guy did not do it, but they did it with how many people?
4 people and
4 people?
Three of the
them?
4
push,
did
yeah.
it. That's the big reveal at the end.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 pushed the guy off, thinking they are murdering a man.
Yes.
Puffy, would you have gotten drawn into that situation?
100% I would have pushed. Because I think that the way it was done, I think that with all the
build-up? and
build-up and stuff, I think they were it was almost like they were hypnotizing the people.
You think so?
And I think that I've been hypnotized very easily before, and I think I'd been panicked. And if 3 out of 4 are doing it, I'm always with the majority.
Yeah, I
of
think
things
you're
like
with
that.
the mob. You're very easily
I would
influenced.
be easily influenced.
It's fascinating.
I would
because-
probably have done it.
Yeah, it's fascinating because we are not talking about something. It's a great concept, but we're not talking about something that's new. If you look at world history, ordinary people in Germany committed absolute horrible atrocities because they were hypnotized by Hitler.
Serious Lester.
You know,
Serious.
100%.
look, it's but I mean,
Only
that's what we're
you
talking
can
You're
about.
take
basically
the-
saying
the-
I would have been in
You've
Hitler's army.
taken the rubber boots pod and brought up the Holocaust.
I would have been one of the guys. Great.
Way to go.
Now I got to live with that.
Well, no, but listen, that's what we're talking about, the manipulation. And listen, the whole thing, you're doing it for your country. You're doing it for the greater good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. Partly, first of all, there's a few things in that show that would have made me suspect television. There's a couple of Weekend at Bernie's moments where they lift the guy's arm up in an auction, and I'm going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have got past moving the body. I really don't. And maybe, I'm not trying to say that I'm higher morals or anything, but I would have just... I didn't know. The guy that known the dude like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe I want to get my business going and I feel influenced by him. But I think as soon as he says move the body, I'm like, bro, I'm out. 911.
But that might just because you're like scared to touch a body.
No, I just don't. I know that right away you're accessory to some sort of weird thing.
Yeah, I watched too much CSI to ever touch that body.
Right.
Exactly.
You're not doing it. You're out, right?
No, at the body thing, the guy drops dead. I'm like, see ya.
Boom, I'm gone. I'm out of the whole thing. I don't care enough about it. But
I almost say you're in a struggling business that's trying to get established.
Oh, so you're going to put your business your whole life on the line for this business?
But the thing is, the way they sell it, though, is that it's not that, like, this guy's already dead. There's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
And what's the difference in finding him 2 hours later when this whole thing is done?
I don't mean to bring race into this, but let me just say this. I'm black.
Yes.
Yeah, we would have pushed you.
Therefore-
I would have pushed you. If it was you, I would have pushed you. Not any black man, but you.
You know what I mean?
Lester, you're fired. End it.
I don't want anything to do with it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's different. Like I hate to say it, but
No, you're
it's
right.
different,
You're 100%
That is
right.
true. Yeah,
Like-
I'd get off, and in the end, they would have said he didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
Anyway, recommend the show. Hopefully, I'll use it.
So you
guys
really
that
think
fast
you
forward.
wouldn't have-
And there's no chance I would have done it, buddy. I got a
Why
lot
do
to
you
give
think
up.
then 75% of people did it?
I don't know. And
Like you're saying you're better than us?
The
killers?
well, look, they pick people that they thought would be easily manipulated.
Yes,
Right.
that is true.
Right. But I just
And I definitely would have fallen. They would have picked, they would have been like first overall pick.
they did a very good job on the show, but it was still not convincing enough.
How
to
about
make me
the first one
murder
they did
someone.
With the baby stroller?
with the kid?
Would take the stroller out.
Yeah.
Stroller, yeah.
See, that I would have done.
I probably would have done that too.
'Cause you're, like,
And then you get
working,
charged.
it's like the
you get
cops.
charged with kidnapping.
Yeah.
We have to go. I got a lot of Super Bowl
Oh,
work
yeah,
to do.
sorry.
So this is an abbreviated edition. What I plan on doing is hopefully I'll get a couple of interviews during the week. Maybe I'll
You
interview.
should get Tom Brady.
We're still here.
Brady and Gronk will probably sit down on the pod.
That's good.
Probably Super Bowl Sunday morning.
Yeah.
we'll do breakfast.
Guys, what are you going to think about the game today?
More likely, I'll maybe have Jabari again, or maybe Jesse Palmer.
Oh,
Jesse
Palmer would
Palmer.
be very
Yeah,
good.
you want me to get Palmer for a few
Jabari's
minutes?
very
Would love
good, yeah,
that.
but
So
sorry,
what's
female
going to
demographic.
follow is going to be either a couple of interviews by me.
now say Jesse says he wants the fifth room at the Villa.
No, he is not coming.
No, we don't want
Brooksy
not
would
coming.
be like, yes.
Yes, all our wives would be.
Yeah, Tanya would be like, sure.
Jesse's coming in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Then we'd have like Lindsay Hamilton would just show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Be like coming across
Hey,
the
guys.
ocean on a jet ski.
Super Bowl predictions. We got to go. Puffy.
Rams.
Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go Patriots too. I've been to 7 Super Bowls. This is my 7th. 6 Patriot Super Bowls.
We're gonna bet for rooms. Who gets the first pick on rooms?
This was a different pod, so I want to thank all the sponsors. We didn't get a chance to do all the themes. Our boys at Untuckit, of course. This is kind of a bonus episode. Don't forget to get your Untuckit shirts at untuckit.com. More than 50 sizing options. Every guy can find the perfect shirt. Go to untuckit.com. Check out all the new fall arrivals. Use the promo code RubberBoots for 20% off your purchase. Visit the Untuckit store, the brand new first Canadian retail store in Sherway Gardens, or shop online anywhere. Untuckit.com. Use the promo code RubberBoots. We didn't have a chance to do our friends at Puckpedia this week. 2 truths and 1 lie. Unless I do it
With Tom.
with Tom.
Wow, wouldn't that be something?
Or Jesse.
I'm married to
Jesse
a
could have a
supermodel.
couple good ones.
I'll try to do it with one of those guys. If not, we just owe Hart one. We're going to get Kara Wagland's going to be on next week.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, Kara Wagland will be
In
on
2 weeks'
So,
time.
go to puckpedia.com.
next week,
Trade deadline is approaching, and follow them at @puckpedia on Twitter. What did you say? This week. That's right. Not next week.
I'm getting
This
confused
week.
on the weeks.
The private jet is leaving really quickly.
I'm going to Costa Rica.
So you got to go. So don't forget to go to puckpedia.com for all your salary cap information, all your trade information as we lead up to the deadline. Don't forget about the Waimara Villas that we're going to. If you
We're
want
1 week closer.
people, I tell you all the time, Turks and Caicos is the most beautiful place in the world. You need to go, and there is no better place to stay than the Waimara. You don't have to go to the villa. for upper end. Villas for upper
I've
end
had
people.
friends that have
Drew
gone
and I.
there, and
But you can get one
every
bedroom,
place
you can
there
get
is
two bedrooms,
fantastic.
you can get 3 bedrooms. It's fantastic. Am I missing anything? idrinkcoffee.com.
No,
Our friend
fine.
Slavic. We love you as well. So thanks so much for listening. We'll get back to the regular pods when we all return from Super Bowl week. How about that Maxim party last night?
Oh,
Was that
my God.
insane?
it's not cheating if she's a 10, right?
Well, I know, and I couldn't believe that 7 of them were eating sushi off you because you were snack. What was it?
I was snackable.
You were so snackable.
Now I did
last
get
night.
word that I messed that up.
Oh, you did? I got to go.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Rubber Boots Pod. Oh, no, it's still on. Interviews coming. So I'm at the media availability. I figure you're all sick of hearing from the Bradys and the Jared Goffs of the world, so I'm going to try to find somebody who's all by himself. I always feel sorry for the guys who are sitting alone, and no one wants to interview them. So Cory Littleton, Rams linebacker, is sitting there lonely. So let's go try to talk to Cory. So I'm here with Cory Littleton. I know you have to do these media sessions every day and answer the same damn questions time and time again. So we're going to try and get you away from that. Tell me how you've been occupying yourself away. What is Super Bowl week like? Your first Super Bowl week? What are you just stuck in the hotel room? Is it boring? Besides the football stuff.
We get a little free time around here. So been to the LIII Mall. We walked around there.
Well, that's exciting.
Waffle House. Got my first experience.
That was your first ever Waffle House?
Yes.
No Waffle Houses in L.A.?
No Waffle Houses in L.A.
And you played where? Washington, didn't you?
Washington.
No Waffle Houses in Washington.
No Waffle Houses in Washington.
What about an IHOP?
IHOP. That's the go-to right there.
So what did you go for at the Waffle House?
An All-Star, I think.
I don't know. I've never been to a Waffle House myself. I'm Canadian.
There it is.
Is it like just get to the damn game? Is that where you're at mentally at this point?
Pretty much. This game is everything, and once it's over, then we get to know exactly where we stand, and we see ourselves as one of the best teams. So now we just got to prove it.
See, that was too much a standard football question, wasn't it?
Same answers every day.
I know. I'm sorry. What do you like to do away from football?
I'm the kickback, chill, relaxed guy. I'll sit in bed all day and watch me some Netflix and watch movies, TV shows.
Okay, what are you into on Netflix right now? Because I was just watching something this morning.
Oh, I just finished season 2 of The Punisher.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I'm a Marvel guy.
Really? I don't dig the whole superhero thing.
So The Punisher, he has no powers. He's just a badass. He's a Marine.
Right. Have you seen The Push?
The Push. No.
Okay, The Push. You got to watch The Push one day when you're bored, because we were talking about it on our podcast. Basically, it's they do this contrived situation. They put this guy in a situation where everybody around them is actors, and by the end of the night, he's asked to commit a murder. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't want to give away the ending because I do want you to watch it. But it's a realistic scenario where the guy has to decide whether to commit a murder, and he thinks it's real. Do you think you could ever be convinced to commit a murder?
Plead the fifth.
The Push. Will you watch it for me?
Definitely. I'll give that a try later on today, actually.
All right. No, I'll come see you tomorrow and test you to see if you watch The Push. I won't really be angry if you didn't watch The Push, but it's okay.
I might give it a shot.
I can also recommend Fire, this documentary about Ja Rule's music festival that went wrong a couple years ago. Do you remember hearing about that?
No.
Okay, it was like the greatest scam ever. Also something you should watch. So you watch all the superhero stuff?
Definitely.
How, if you just lie in bed all day, how do you keep in football player shape?
I train. We have football hours. I get all my training done in those hours, and we have a great strength and conditioning staff, and they'll get me right.
All the guys on the podcast were headed to a Caribbean vacation, and we like to train to look good in our photos. Give me the one exercise, the go-to for a relatively skinny, middle-aged white man like myself.
Get on that treadmill.
Treadmill?
Yes. It leans you out.
Do you do treadmill?
Give me a mile in.
Okay, but you do like high intensity, or like run hard, then stop. Is that the way?
Yeah, I get it over with quick.
Man, I thought you were going to give me something hardcore. Treadmill. I thought that was kind of a grandma thing.
It works for me.
Listen, I want to thank you for taking the time. I hope I didn't ask you too many. I have one dumb question, one typical football question. What would be the worst question you've been asked this week, besides the ones that I asked you?
Are you excited for this game? What do you expect?
No, man, I really want this thing over with, right?
Right.
How do you not roll your eyes when you get that?
Be respectful.
You're a good man, raised well. I wish you the best of luck, okay? We'll be cheering for you on Sunday.
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk to you tomorrow about the push.
All right.
What you watching?
Back with Cory Littleton. I'm very disappointed because he said he was going to watch the push for me. And what happened last night?
Yeah, I gave it a chance. I decided to check the preview out before I started watching it, and the preview kind of scared me off.
What scared you about the preview?
I thought it was more of like a TV show, like not sitcom.
Oh, like a drama?
Not necessarily a drama, but it was reality TV.
It is, but not reality TV like The Bachelor.
Yeah, not really. Different scenario, but it didn't seem for me.
I'm disappointed in you. But maybe you can redeem yourself on Sunday.
That's the plan.
So what did you go with? Another edition of The Punisher?
Finish the Punisher. What did I watch yesterday? Fantastic Beasts and Where You Find Them.
Well, that's reality TV.
No, it's a movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's like Harry Potter, kind of. It's like predates Harry Potter.
You really like the fantasy and the superheroes and all that, right?
Action, all that.
Does that come from your youth? Were you into that?
Just seemed interesting at the time.
All right. Well, I won't keep you anymore. I don't want the TV questions to become as annoying as the football questions this week. So this is your last session. You're almost done with the media. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of the week, and best of luck to you on Sunday. If you win the game, you can make one more vow to me. We're Canadian ESPN, so we're live on the field, so you come visit with us after you win the Super Bowl, okay?
You come find me, I'll come talk to you.
Okay, buddy. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
So that was a massive failure. Tried to make Puffy and Lester and Christoph proud by continuing our What You Watchin' segment. Cory Littleton, who promised me he would watch the push and then watched 5 minutes of the push and got bored and said, screw Jimmy. And so now the Rams availability is over for the week and I'm left with nothing. I'm a failure. The only thing I could try for you guys, I'm going to go try and find my pal Jabari Greer, my partner this week, Super Bowl champion with the New Orleans Saints, because he's quite frankly the happiest person I've ever met in my life. No one can bring you up when you're down like Jabari.
I am sitting outside the ballroom where the Patriots are about to do their daily media session. And I'm with the legend himself, my partner throughout the week, Jabari Greer, his second annual Rubber Boots podcast appearance. How excited are you?
I'm super excited. Super excited to be here. Thank you again for inviting me. I thought that after last year's fiasco, I would not be invited back to the Rubber Boots podcast.
What do you mean fiasco? You were brilliant. You told a very romantic story about your wife and how you met her. It was very popular. Everyone was very happy with your appearance.
James, I'm such an insecure guy. It's just like every time I step up to the plate and do an interview, I literally wake up in cold sweats at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and, think about that one thing I could have said right.
Well, and you have reason to be. I mean, you haven't accomplished anything in your life. You're not a handsome man. We've been in the gym together every morning. You have to, and usually we're alone in the gym.
I got to scoot my way in there, man. Yeah. Barely making my way in.
And you have to watch my body.
There you go.
And look at your little body. And that's not easy for you.
It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing being me.
So this is kind of, we'll share it. It's kind of the boring part of Super Bowl week for us. Jabari and I do our panel every day, but we sit around a lot. We are literally sitting on the carpet right now, waiting for damn Tom Brady. I feel like my next book is going to be called Waiting for Tom Brady.
That's a great title, because this is what we've been doing, waiting for Tom Brady and Jared Goff all week.
I want to say something about you, and it's going to sound like I'm sucking up, but I'm not. As I've we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of Super Bowls and get to spend time having lunches and dinners together. You are one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and I don't mean just talking, but you have this ability to sit down in a restaurant or wherever it may be, and whoever the people are around you, you start up conversations with them and make them feel comfortable. We sat by these two girls at lunch today. It was your typical sort of food court situation where you never talk to anybody. And normally I just be myself on my phone, and you strike up a conversation with these people. The hotel breakfast lady, that's one of your greatest qualities, and I wanted to say that.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. You know, I am naturally an introvert, and I think that I really am. I really am. And I think that a way for me to fight that, especially being that we are in the media, a way for me to fight that is to be able to honestly ask questions and figure out something about someone that I never knew before. That was one thing that I loved the most about being in the locker room, is because I could tell you, I was probably the only one out of those 50 to 63 guys that could tell you one thing about every single player that nobody else might have known.
That's an amazing quality, though, because I've met a lot of professional athletes, and I'm not going to stereotype, but you know, it's all about them, so they don't want to know anything about you.
Yeah, and it's about the business as well. The business is so cutthroat that you very rarely find deep, meaning relationships. And we talked about this yesterday. You know, how many, even in the media, it's so hard because this is such a cutthroat business. It's hard to develop authentic relationships. And I think one thing that I'm thankful for that my parents instilled in me is the need to be authentic and genuine. That's one thing that I want to continue, no matter where God takes me, whatever happens in my life. I want to be able to remain authentic. And I hope that, you know, life doesn't humble me, and I hope that I get to humble myself one day.
The thing I really wanted to talk to you about today is when we talked last year, I think you'd bought a house up in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
But you're from Tennessee. I mean, you did play some football in Buffalo, but you played mostly in New Orleans. And you decided, you married a Canadian girl, but you moved your entire family up to Canada to be full-time at TSN. And how has that been for you, the experience of being Canadian, and right now your family's going through this horrible cold weather back home, and we're like,
we got some time. Let's unpack this, okay? Because there's so many reasons why we moved up to Canada. And I love Canada. It's an incredible place. So the decision to move from New Orleans to Canada was a decision that kind of happened over 2 years. I was coming up every other month, the first year.
For TSN?
For TSN, to do our hits. And also for Super Bowl, I would go to the location wherever we were, in Houston first year. And then the second year, I was coming up every month to do hits at TSN. And sometimes I would bring my family. We would come also with our family during Christmas vacation, because my wife, being from Mississauga, her mother was there, her sister lived there, her brothers lived there. And in New Orleans, literally, we were the only family that we had. My mother lived in Houston. My brothers lived in Tennessee, and my sister lived in Tennessee as well. And for anybody to watch the kids, we had one little old lady that if she was busy, we couldn't do anything. So being able to come up for Christmas, being able to come up for birthdays, and spend that time with grandma, with auntie, and with uncles, I mean, I find myself wanting to stay longer and longer every single trip. My wife had been planting the seed for Canada for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Every time something racially charged would happen in the South, my wife will look at me and say, you know what? We don't have that problem in Canada. And at first, I was like, man, you know what? I'm not thinking about that. Because the truth is, as a Southern young man, you can't even fathom leaving the country. You know, something about Americans, we are so insulated. We're so protected by, our mind is protected by our borders that we very rarely venture out.
It's like you have a wall.
Exactly. Good one.
So you didn't need convincing, and your wife didn't need convincing, but what about your kids? You have Southern kids,
and you're uprooting them and bringing them
You
up
said
to Toronto.
7 kids?
No, I said Southern.
Southern, oh.
Do you have 7 kids?
I do not have 7 children. So no, I needed a little more convincing. So it took me about 5 years, and then something happened. America lost its doggone mind. Politically, we went crazy. We started turning on each other, started turning on everyone, and literally, you could feel the tension in the air. Because, in New Orleans, it is kind of like Iowa and New Hampshire. You can tell the state of America by the tension that's in New Orleans.
And you could really feel it.
You could feel it. And it's, the most easygoing place. It is the Big Easy. But, during this whole last election cycle with Trump being elected and so much racially and racially going on, you could understand that there was a shift in culture. So I wanted to get the hell up out of there. And my wife she was okay with it. She had just started a business. So she was a little more hesitant to leave that. But, we did. And we moved up here full time. And that transition for the kids, it was tough at first because they had to leave all their friends. Thankfully, my wife she's a beast, man. She's a soldier. She was able to we still have our home in New Orleans. We're going to keep that as long as we can. She was able to bring the kids back and forth from Canada to New Orleans and to ease their transition while I was up there working full time. So credit goes to my wife. Katrina, she's a beautiful and strong woman. She's literally made this transition for our family much easier than I would have. As a father, I like to say the father's creed. Oh, you'll be all right. That is the father's creed. Your son falls down, scrapes his knee. Oh, the boy be all right. Your daughter, she, does something. Oh, she'll be all right. And the truth is, sometimes they won't be.
But they are, right? They like it, and your son loves hockey now.
Yeah, and it's incredible. So my son's in hockey. My other son, we just went skiing for the first time. I've never been skiing in my life.
Did you ski?
I did ski.
How did you do?
I was overconfident the very first time.
Did you do one of the green runs, the bunny hills?
No, yeah, I did. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. I went the green run, then I did the bunny hills.
And did you fall?
Of course I fell.
Yeah. I wish we had video of that.
I know. But it was great. Although I think one of my sons might have tore his MCL. But that being said, he'll be all right.
He'll be all right. Okay, I don't want to keep you too long, but give me your favorite moment. I always like to ask champions when they win a Super Bowl, like you did. Like, what do you remember? Is there a moment in the dressing room or
hand me the mic.
On the field afterwards?
Oh my goodness! So,
what was the moment?
James, fighting for the Super Bowl. It's a long season. Mm-hmm. You go through so many ups and downs, and you have this tunnel vision. You and your teammates are fighting for this ultimate goal. And so many times you could just have your head down for so long, for 16 weeks, that when you finally bring it up and you actually see what you're fighting for, it blows your mind. So we're playing for the Super Bowl. And obviously we win because Tracy Porter makes an incredible play.
Super Bowl 44, by the way. It's the New Orleans Saints and Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm-hmm. And so the game's over. The confetti's falling. And immediately I remember where I was at 6 years old watching my very first Super Bowl. I was inside my home. I stayed up late because I was supposed to be in bed. I was watching TV in my room, trying not to make a noise, trying not to make a sound, seeing the confetti fall. Now I'm there. I look to my left and I see my wife and my 2 children at the time, 5 and 6 years old. I see the confetti hitting their face, and I realize that this will change their life forever. All the hard work that I had put in, all the times that I had to say Daddy will be back, that I love you, but Daddy has to go play. For them to be able to share in that moment, that they're on the 50-yard line, that they're experiencing the confetti, And when I put myself in their shoes 30 or 20 years ago, I could only imagine being in that moment. I realized their life will be much different than my life was. And it's through those moments in which I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go run, where I was backpedaling so much that people ask me, what's wrong with me? What are you doing? Why are you crazy? You know, I mean, literally the things that I had to do, the things that professional athletes have to do to get to that point is somehow insane. You have to be so determined and so focused that people think that you're crazy. It's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to make it. And so eventually seeing all that work pay off and seeing my children reap the benefits of that work, it literally made everything full circle.
That's amazing. Well, you say you want to be authentic. You're one of the most authentic people that I've ever met.
Thank you, brother.
And we've had some fun this week. Just don't always wear the same color suit as mine. We wore burgundy suits together on Monday.
I told you, yours was burgundy.
Mine
was burnt salmon.
And so the next day, it's salmon.
We say
Canada.
salmon.
It's salmon.
Okay, salmon.
It's not salmon.
We say salmon.
Salmon.
Okay.
You're in Canada now.
About. That's
a boot. And then, so the next day, I say, well, I'm going to wear my nice, it was a little colder out, I'm going to wear my nice overcoat, so I'll look better than Jabari today, because my wife gave me this Ted Baker overcoat, and then you have the same coat, and you still look better than me. So I hate you a little bit,
yeah.
but I respect you and I love you.
All right, brother. Love you too, man.
Jabari Greer.
How are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Oh, I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. And I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank or the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, or black or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? Do you really like the dunk tank at the fair? Dunk tank.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?